what motivated me to take this career path was I had worked for the National Park Service in different divisions prior to going into law enforcement. I had worked for Resource, I had done interp and fees, and it was an evolution that I got into the law enforcement division, and I haven't looked back. It's been something that I've greatly enjoyed because of the variety of things that we get to do in law enforcement in different parts of the country. I just enjoyed the different things that we get to do in the law enforcement division. It could be very challenging, but it's also a very rewarding career path. And this is what's actually kept me at this job, is that in this career, you actually have the opportunity to work, live, and play in some of the most amazing areas that this country has to offer.
So as a kid, I really enjoyed being outside. I grew up in an area with lots of trees, so that motivated me. Of course, I love national parks from a young age, different beautiful places, so I love being outside. I started in natural resources. I had a degree in environmental biology, so I started at Shenandoah National Park. I met some folks that were working in wildland fire, and that seemed really interesting. So when there was an opportunity to start doing fire effects, which combines natural resource management and fire, I jumped at that position. Through the years, again, I've moved into fire planning. I've started in fire operations and incident management teams. So just the diversity of jobs and I've got to do, and also just being able to spend a lot of time working outside in these beautiful places of national parks. I was inspired to stay in my career in wildland fire by many people, both male and female. So the best opportunities that were supervisors that really encouraged me to take different positions and take positions I didn't quite feel ready for. So they encouraged me and challenged me to move into positions that maybe I didn't feel like I was ready for, but that has really helped me. So I think it's not any one particular person, but I always think back to certain people that pushed me to start and try something else, and that really allowed for growth and also led me to different careers in parts of wildland fire that I didn't think I'd ever be a part of.
I grew up in Alaska just outside of Glacier Bay National Park and Preserve, and so I started my career while I was still in college working for the National Park Service seasonally. And I really grew up with a very deep understanding and deep appreciation for the mission of the National Park Service and for that place, Glacier Bay, that was both my home and a national park and preserve that is world recognized. I realized through the course of my career that I could have a positive impact not only on that mission of the National Park Service, but in a very real way, protect the people who live and work and visit these amazing places across the country. Over the course of my career, as I've gotten engaged in leadership and moved up in the organization, I've found a lot of fulfillment in that leadership role, and that's one of the things that's kept me interested and kept me engaged through the course of my career, is to be in that leadership position and affect positive change on a broader level and have a positive impact, I hope, on people across the country who are working towards the same mission that I am.
So I became interested in being a fire ecologist pretty early on. I was working for the Forest Service and doing fire and botany, both. I was going out on fire crews and I was also doing rare plant surveys. And I had my supervisor, who was a great mentor, introduced me to a regional fire ecologist. And at that time, there was not very many fire ecologists that I'd ever met. I had no idea there was even a field of fire ecology. So I guess at that point, when I realized that there was this, I could combine both the love of fire and also ecology or botany, I started working towards being a fire ecologist. And it was a long road. I worked as a seasonal for a long time, and I ended up taking a job up in Alaska as a seasonal for the fire program, and I guess ultimately started working towards things that I could do as a fire ecologist, field work. I went back to graduate school, and I eventually applied and got a job as the regional fire ecologist, and I've been here, I guess, for the last 20 years because I love the job. So.